Instead, our job is to discern our mission, the small piece of God's intention that belongs to us, to this place, this community at this time. Or to put it differently, our job is to find the mission we belong to, the real owner for whose benefit we hold and deploy all of our resources. How do you choose to use your gifts to discover and serve something bigger, some larger mission that you might not know? Our strategic planning design team invited you to be a part of that process in the past months. The board will continue that work. The staff has contributed to it, looking at what is our emerging purpose in this place at this time that we can serve, that is bigger than us. You've shown a passionate energy for serving already by giving of time and self to programs, to people, by giving your gifts. How can we get clearer on that? These purposes of religion, of liberal religion, to agitate, to animate, to liberate, they're not passive. They're not things that allow us to sit back and take an intellectual approach and contemplate simply with our finger on our forehead, thinking of how it's growing, how wise we're getting. They require us to struggle, to be in the world. They require us to look at the gifts that we've been given and to find out, even in the midst of the gifts that we don't like, that we didn't want, that we didn't ask for, that we don't know what to do with, that there might be a gift in it somewhere. In disease and illness, in addiction, in recovery, in divorce, in homelessness, in joblessness, in foreclosures. Could there be a gift somewhere in your life, in the darkness, that you didn't want, you don't like, you didn't ask for, and you don't know what to do with, but that is part of that mission? And that if you sit with it long enough, it will tell you how to use it, but more so, how to be used by it for something bigger, for blessing and not cursing the world. I have plenty of those gifts. Those ones I don't know what to do with, the ones I don't like. The gifts of privilege around race, around gender, around class. It took me a number of years to discover where the gift in being gay was, and then be able to celebrate and claim that and not feel like I had to hide it, shroud it, explain it away. It reminds me of the first Christmas that I spent with my husband Chad's family, his extended step family, right? His step-grandparents who live out in Allegan County, and they're from a Reform background, and they're a lot more conservative than we are. And the first Christmas that I was there, it was the first time that he'd ever brought a partner to meet that part of the family. So we had like 4 generations of folks ranging in age from 80 to 3. And here's us, and we come, and they welcomed me. And his step-grandparents gave us a gift. Now, in that tradition, in that family, it's kind of like you give everybody a similar gift, and everybody gets the same kind of thing, but not exactly the same. So I got this gift, and they said, "Here, Matthew, you open it." And I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." And so they walked away as I was opening, and everybody was opening, and it's this set of dish towels that had mallards on them, and they had crocheted little hooks at the top so you could hang them on your kitchen cupboards. And I said, "How nice. Thank you." And thank goodness they walked away, because I started laughing hysterically for like 10 minutes. So much so that Chad and his father had to stand in front of me to block me from the rest of the room. And they're looking over their shoulder. What are you laughing at? And I couldn't even talk, because all I could think is, what am I supposed to do with these? And then my kind of ego-centered small s self thinking, who are these people? And what are they thinking giving me something like this? Obviously they don't care about me. They don't know me. They don't know who I am. I don't like mallards. Well, after my laughing fit ceased, thankfully, it's still a family story, although I don't think Grandma and Grandpa ever heard about it yet, so I hope they don't watch YouTube. It came to me that what those gifts were about wasn't about me. It wasn't about the mallards. It wasn't about dish towels or crochets. It was about family. It was about people trying to include someone that they didn't understand, they didn't know, and they weren't sure how it was going to work. It was about people reaching out and saying, we're willing to be changed by you, to have you as a part of us. Will you be a part of us? It was about them using their gifts, imperfect as they were, and me receiving them, imperfect as I was, to accomplish something bigger. And once I got my little ego, or not so little at the time, out of the way, I could see that. I suspect, in fact I believe, I'm convicted that all of the things in our lives that make us cringe, that make us ridicule, that make us angry, that make us think, what is this for? Have something to give us. They help us get clearer on what's important to us. They help us understand our place in the world, our place in life. When you look at the political candidates and movements you disagree with, and you just want to wring someone's necks or shout at your screen, that is a gift. It's a gift that is helping you to clarify what you're passionate about and where you're called. When you stand toe-to-toe with those people that you just so disagree with in your life, whether they're family, whether they're friends, whether they're neighbors, whether they're complete strangers, that is a gift that's helping, that's asking you, what will you do in the world? How will you be? When we look at the mess of our world, when we look at all of the power and the privilege, when we look at the structures of oppression, when we look at the art exhibit of slavery's chill and we want to turn our eyes away, those are gifts. They call us to something bigger by being humbled. They call us to something holy and sacred by acknowledging our own limitations. The fact that we don't know what to do with our gifts. And sometimes we just have to hold out our hands. And without knowing what the blessing will look like in the end, to say, I choose to bless the world. I choose to bless the world. Our task is not to feel good about the gifts. Our task is to do good with the gifts. To serve something bigger. As Reverend Parker said, your gifts, whatever you discover them to be, can be used to bless or to curse the world. The mind's power, the strength of the hands, the reaches of the heart, the gifts of speaking, listening, imagining, seeing. None of us alone can save the world. But together, that is another possibility. Waiting. What will you do with your gifts? I choose to bless the world. Try it again. What will you do with your gifts? I choose to bless the world. So go forth, friends. Go forth into this world that awaits your blessing, that calls your gifts out of you, that acknowledges who you are, who you can be, and what you need. Friends, this is the one wild and precious life that we have been given. So let each one of us find a way to rejoice in it and to be glad. Go in peace. Make peace. Amen.